Pope Francis says Christmas reminds us of God's peace and joy, strength and comfort.
La festa del Natale ci ricorda che Gesù è la nostra pace.
The Holy Father held a meeting to thank those who donated this year's Christmas tree and nativity scene. He said, in the midst of the suffering due to the pandemic, Jesus is the sign of hope given to us by God. His small, poor, and helpless nature teaches us to be the same. Joining us now from St. Peter's Square is EWTN Newsroom correspondent Colm Flynn. He joins us now from the Vatican's annual Christmas tree lighting and nativity scene reveal. Colm, so good to see you. So set the scene for us. What's the atmosphere like there?
Good evening, Tracy. Well, it is beautiful. The atmosphere is really nice here in St. Peter's Square tonight because Romans have been looking forward to this day for so long. Something that would bring a little Christmas cheer to, of course, what has been a very difficult year for the Italians during this pandemic. There is a crowd here, not like in previous years, but the police are around making sure that all the COVID restrictions are being enforced. There are Vatican officials here, there are delegates from different parts of the world, and they're all here to turn on the Christmas tree lights, which have just went on in the last few minutes, and unveil the crib. Now, in previous years, they've had marching bands and choirs, but this year it's a little bit more modest, although maybe you can hear a choir behind me now.
I can. So beautiful. Well, tell us a little bit more about the Christmas tree and also the nativity scene.
Well, Tracy, the nativity scene, it was actually built from 1965 to 1975, 10 years, by a generation of young artists in the small town of Castella in central Italy. The statues are made entirely out of ceramic and have a modern design to the traditional nativity scene. Because the original nativity scene is composed of 54 figures, but there are 19 in this Vatican creche here behind me. Now, the Christmas tree, on the other hand, that is a different story. That traveled all the way from Kočevje forest in Slovenia, and that translates to Nomad's Forest. And this is where the spruce tree started its life in 1945. After a quick blessing, it started its 3-day journey by road, eventually arriving in the Eternal City. And under the cover of darkness, Tracy, a police escort guided the truck into St. Peter's Square, and tonight the 75-year-old tree was illuminated as a symbol of hope and unity for the entire world. It's significant that it is 75 years old, the ambassador to Slovenia has said, because it marks 75 years since the end of World War II. And also, Tracy, the height of the tree, it stands at 30 meters high, which again is significant because Slovenia celebrates 30 years as an independent nation.
Well, that is so incredible. So, Colm, how long will the Christmas tree and the nativity scene be on display?
Well, following the liturgical calendar, the Vatican's Christmas decorations will be up until the Feast of the Baptism of the Lord on January the 10th. Now, again, in previous years, displays have been up until February, so tourists could come and take in some of the beauty. So this year, a little bit shorter, and of course, there will not be as many tourists here as in previous years, but for the few tourists who do come here and for the Italians, it will be a beautiful sight to see.
Indeed. Colm, thank you so much for sharing that with us. We appreciate it. Colm Flynn, EWTN Newsroom correspondent. Thanks again, Colm.
Thank you, Tracy.